Okay, today we are going to talk about what other products you need to have on hand, what you need to buy, what you need to borrow, what you need to have with you when you are ready to install your new laminate flooring that you just purchased from Floors to Your Home. You've gone to our website, you picked out a product, you placed your order, and it has arrived. You are ready to install. Now, we're going to assume that you've already done all of your take-up. You've removed the existing flooring that was already down in the room, and it's clean. You've swept it. You've already checked the subfloor to make sure it's level, within tolerance. It's nice and flat, smooth, all that kind of good stuff. And you're ready to install. The first thing you're going to need, in addition to your laminate flooring, is, since laminate is a floating floor, you are required to have a pad. Now, many laminates come with pre-attached pad, so your product might already have pad attached. If it does not, then you are required to buy a separate pad and roll that out first. The only other thing you would need is, to go under the laminate, is if you are on a concrete slab, you will need a moisture barrier. A 6 mil plastic is typically sufficient. And if you have your laminate that has pad attached already, you'll need to get that plastic moisture barrier. If your laminate does not have pad attached and you have bought a pad, most pads come with that plastic moisture barrier lining on it, so you'll need to check that to make sure you're good to go. Next thing you're going to need before you start installing is you're going to need spacers. We put spacers all the way around the wall, at the base of the wall, to help us keep that 3/8 inch gap that we need from our vertical surface from where our laminate is going to be installed, so that that floor can float and adjust due to temperature and humidity changes. So we're going to put our spacers against the wall. We're going to start installing our laminate flooring. When we get to the end of a row, we need to make our first cut typically. We need something to measure that plank. We need something to mark that plank off, a pencil, pen, marker, and then we're going to need something to cut. So we're typically going to use a table saw for this purpose. That's what's recommended in most cases, especially for your more difficult, more intricate type cuts. So we're going to make that cut. And usually that piece that we cut off can go down and start our next row, and we just continue installing per the installation instructions. We're going to do that all the way down to the end of the room, and then we can go back around and we can remove those spacers that we have placed up against the wall. We now have that 3/8 inch gap against the wall that we need to cover. How do we cover that? Well, if you already have baseboard down, typically people use a shoe mold or quarter round on the outside of the baseboard. If you don't have baseboard, you could add the baseboard and that should cover it. You could then, if you want, still add the shoe mold or quarter round for aesthetic reasons if you like that. And that will finish off the bottom of our walls. When we finish in one room, depending on if we're continuing that laminate into the next room, or if we're meeting another type of flooring, we might need a transition piece there. So we will do a whole separate video on what type of transition piece you'd need depending on your circumstance when you're going from floor A to floor B, what is used, and a lot of that is going to depend on the height of those two floors. If you're continuing that laminate floor into the next room and your subfloors are of equal height, typically you just go right through and continue it. So those are the other items you're going to need to have on hand to complete your laminate install.